I mean, dude, we had George St. Pierre on episode 500. Like I had to have you on as well, just to balance this shit out, you know? But only the best man for our 500th episode. And I know your time is valuable, so we appreciate your time. And if you don't know and you are audio only, we are now joined by a man whose future is in the UFC Hall of Fame, but still a lot of fight potentially left in this dog. One of the greatest welterweights of all time, if not that guy, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman. Great to see you, buddy. Repping young LA loud and proud. How we doing?
Of course. No, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Ken Flo, it's been a while.
What's up, man? I know.
What's up?
Too long, man.
Yeah, John. I'm great. I'm in Colorado still, getting some time in with Trevor, some much needed time. So I'm excited. I'm always excited when I'm in Colorado. It feels like when I come here, I have to get into that mind frame. I'm in camp, you know. So now I'm not in camp. So coming here and actually getting some training, it feels great.
Well, it was good to see you on the television set this weekend, and now the quick transition back to the training room. Very kind of you to join us on this 500th episode. Now, in terms of your fashion and your style, we've talked about it on this podcast before, right? Acknowledging you as the best dressed UFC fighter. Dean Thomas has this bit now where he tries to sort of be you, and I'm not sure he can pull it off, but we have an image of you in some sort of teal or turquoise number, bro, from your Instagram. And dude, I mean, that's just strong to fucking quite strong, man.
Hey, you know what's funny, John? I appreciate you bringing that up. You know what's funny is everyone, people try to poke fun at me and make fun, and they were just like, hey, listen, everything was on point. It looked great. It was for my shoot for GQ. But it was, hey, it was designer too. And my thing was, because now I'm starting to get up there in age, and things just don't come as easy as they used to when you get in the gym. So when you have a body that looks like that, you got to take advantage of it. You got to wear whatever you want to wear.
Bro, right. I mean, yes, I would have my shirt off a lot and I'd be wearing things like that. Kenny, you were once sort of known as this guy. You had a big time, long reigning metrosexual phase. You were the fashion forward guy, right? But dude, this man, like, I'm serious. I mean, this man, right, this man knows how to dress, and he looks the fucking part every time.
I never had a shirt, or nor was I ever in good enough shape where you could tell that I had a six pack while I had a shirt on. Like, that's insane, dude.
No, I got a lot of crap for it, but it is what I love it. You know, that just shows that people do care. People do. they are watching. They are watching what you wear. So I appreciate it. All the hate, all the goods, the good things, the bad things. I appreciate it all.
Well, they're also watching what you're not doing in the octagon, which is a lot of your content, pound for pound, blowing up on YouTube, obviously. So congratulations on that. On Instagram, it is at pound for pound, the number 4. Seems like you're really starting to enjoy cracking a mic, not just sort of on the ESPN front like last weekend, but you and Henry pushing out content, you know?
Yeah. It was just one of those things to where I felt like, especially Henry, he has a lot of knowledge. And I'm like, okay, this is a way that you can show it, because obviously we can't go into every fighter or go into every gym and just say, hey, do this, you should do that, or you should improve here, you should improve there, or we see something that can help you. So it's like, okay, let's share it with the world in a way where the world gets to see it, you know, and it's not just, you know, specific. And it's not you're poking at one fighter or anything like that. It's just, you know, being able to voice an opinion on what's going on and just kind of share your expertise. But plus, pound for pound is not just an MMA or a fight type of thing. It's, you know, I want it to be a platform to where we could talk to all the interesting people that we find very interesting in life. Because sometimes I might be dealing with something in my actual life, and I'm like, you know, I would like to hear from a professional in this field or in that field. And so I wanted it to be a platform to where we get to talk to people and we get to know people. And, you know, we've had some great guests on. We've had Shaq, Dana, Damon John, and a couple of different people. And we'll get, you know, only important people like you guys. So we'll get you guys. No, but it's just a platform to where we want to just be able to have those conversations with all the people that we truly love and care about.
So you're in a really cool spot, man. You're in a great spot, very interesting spot, where based on what you've accomplished, you can kind of pick and choose who you want to fight in a way. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And what division you want to fight in. Like, what's next for you? Is it 170? Is it 185? Is it 205? Are there any names that you're looking at?
That's a great question, Kempo. Yeah, like you said, it's an interesting spot. It's very different. I've never been in a spot like this where it's just, hey, just get back and pick where you want to go and just get back. And for me, I made my career at being a welterweight, and I never thought I would middleweight. Obviously, when that possibility of potentially getting the second belt, yeah, I thought about it. But besides that, welterweight just seems to be the way that where I have been, where I'm comfortable. Even though for the right fight, middleweight makes sense.
Yeah,
no doubt.
What's that weight cut like to 170 these days?
That's the thing. I haven't done it now in over a year, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but the body knows. Once you get into camp and then you really focus and you dial in, the body knows. That's what I found was always crazy to me. The body knows when to just start getting it off. But 170 or 85, if it makes sense, then it's something that I could potentially entertain. But right now, it's just my biggest thing is just getting healthy. I fought so long being unhealthy and just jumping in there because I wanted to fight. I wanted the next guy. I wanted to compete. And of course, you wanted to make money. You want all these different things to where it forces you, you know this, Ken Flo, as a fighter, it forces you to say, yeah, that hurts. I should probably get that fixed, but I'll wait. I'll do it after the fight. And so now I'm just in a position to where it's like, let's get all these done. So I know I'm at the tail end. Let me finish the career the right way and decide what else I want to do. So I'm just getting healthy right now, Ken Flo. That's
well,
the answer.
I'm probably sniping this question from Mr. Anik here, but what's your breakdown and what's your pick of this upcoming welterweight championship fight between Bilal and Leon?
It's an interesting fight because I think both guys are talented in both ways. Leon, I would say the best thing about Leon's very sharp. He's very sharp in his movement and his quick twitch. He's very sharp. But where we've kind of seen him, it's almost like a hesitation to where it's like he doesn't pull the trigger when he needs to pull the trigger and actually turn on that kill switch and go get you out of there. And I saw that even in this last fight with Covington. He was much sharper. And he had some opportunities there where he could have landed some nice strikes and potentially got Covington out of there. But it's almost like he hesitates. And I think that hesitation might be from not wanting to be fatigued over the 5 rounds. And that's where I think is going to play a factor in this fight because Bilal can just go like that to where Leon can start out really, really hot first round and then it kind of dips and then it goes like this. And you started to see it in their fight that obviously it ended in an eye poke. But you started to see it. Leon came out throwing nice combinations, really, really good head kicks. And it kind of, seemed like it shocked Bilal a little bit. But towards the end of that, you see Bilal kind of start to settle in, start to kind of come back before the eye poke. And that's what I think is very interesting in this fight because both guys are much improved. Leon, of course, is going to be walking around with that extra 30% swag of I'm the champion now. And Bilal has, I don't know, it's just how Bilal deals with all the pressures of everything that's going on outside. Like we can't forget where he's from. We can't forget, everyone wants to represent their heritage, their culture, where they're from. And so carrying the weight of that and you're going into enemy territory, literally in Manchester, it's just how they deal with it. I think Leon, if I had to pick, don't hold me to it. I'm gonna lean towards the champion Leon here because he really impressed me with how he handled all of the pressures and everything dealing with our last fight in London, England. So to be able to deal with that pressure of everyone in hometown wanting you to excel and be great at it just lets me know that, hey, it's something that he can deal with. So it's just based on how Bilal shows up. But if I had to pick, I would lean towards Leon a little bit.
You really set that up so well on both sides because the weight in terms of the bigger picture life stuff that Bilal Muhammad is dealing with is a real potential factor in this fight. If channeled in the right way, it could be, huge, but it's a real lot. Kamaru Usman joining us on this 500th episode of the Anik and Florian podcast. I got a couple quick ones for you on the way out. So you just turned 37 in May. You've asked a lot of your body in wrestling and MMA, but he's smiling right now, and for more reasons than one. So I would imagine part of you at times maybe gets a little bit melancholy to think that your body is going to determine, when this thing ends, or there might be only 1 or 2 or 3 training camps left. But isn't it kind of nice to enjoy the fruits and look down at the frost on your fucking left wrist and realize that most of the hay is in the barn?
John, you would think so, but I still have a competitor's mind. Which is it gets me sometimes, because when I'm at home and then I watch fights, I just instantly I'm able to switch that competitor's mind there. So it's basically, I guess what we would say is the fire's still in the furnace. It's still burning, and that's where I can't, because the moment I want to say, you know what, let's go on vacation. But even if I am on vacation, it's like after day 1 or 2, it's like, damn, I got to get to the gym. I got to get better today. I got to do something to get better in this and get better in that. So I would say for some reason, I just can't yet. There's still a lot in here. But you're right. In the first part of that question is, I go into the gym now and I start moving. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm moving nice. Everything's great here. Everything's great here. And then after a day or 2 of that, your body's like, hold on, guy, hold on. Yeah, let's hold on here. Something starts hurting. So the body is obviously going to determine that, but I'm still a competitor.
Well, I get a lot of my music from you and what you post on Instagram. So download the song "Get In With Me," Boss Man D-Lo. Left wrist on frost look like a bag of ice. Both you motherfuckers with your watches, All right, I'll get you out of here on this. The great Nigerian Nightmare joining us here on the Anik and Florian podcast. So you've saved the day 3 times for the UFC by my count. Maybe it's 4 by your count, right? Whether it's fighting Masvidal on Fight Island, fighting Khamzat Chimaev, right? But welterweight championship traction is always going to be yours as one of this division's all-time greats. So do you believe, and I asked Dustin Poirier a similar question to this earlier, do you believe that your next opponent will come out of this group of 4? Shavkat Rakhmonov, Ian Machado Gary, Jack Della Maddalena, Bilal Muhammad.
Ooh. Yes.
There it is. That's all we need. Hey, thanks for breaking off a few minutes, man. Always great to see that smile. Great work on television, and we'll see you soon. Keep up the good work with Henry, too.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
There he is, Kamaru Usman, with us here on the Anik and Florian podcast, right? So all I'm doing as a fight fan, and what an absolute legend that man is. I have so many songs I've downloaded just from going into his Instagram story. But as an MMA fan, even though these are now my colleagues in some part and my friends, Kenny, I'm thinking, like, who are they going to fight next? And who are they thinking they're going to fight next, right? So we just presented Kamaru Usman with 4 names, and he didn't really hesitate to say yes. He thinks that he's fighting either Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jack Della Maddalena, Ian Machado Gary, or Bilal Muhammad.
Oh, gosh, that's a sick list. You're killing it today, man. That's quite the list. God, so are you asking me which one I would like to see? I mean,
I'm not asking you anything.
All of them. I want to see all of them, John. But the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight, that would be a banger. A banger. But, I assume they probably trained with each other before too, huh?
So one guy I don't think it will be next for Kamaru.
Okay.
Remember the name! Bilal Muhammad! Now, they did try to put that fight together in the past. Bilal was waiting for his championship opportunity, and so much is going to lie with this outcome at UFC 304 between Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad as to what happens with all of the names that we just mentioned. We didn't mention Gilbert Burns, who is fighting Sean Brady, and the Burns rematch, just with respect to Durinho, all-time great human being, elite fighter. Just not a lot of upside for Kamaru Usman to fight his friend and former training partner Gilbert Burns again. So I think it's going to come out of that 4. I don't think it's going to be Bilal. Maybe if Leon wins dominantly, it would be Bilal in some sort of eliminator. I don't think you do Edwards versus Usman 4. That's why I didn't mention that. I think it's going to be one of those guys in a main event or eliminator. Ian Machado, Gary, Shavkat Rachmanov. Those are the undefeated guys that seemingly are healthier than Jack Della Maddalena. And that's what it's going to be for Kamaru as long as, the body and the knees hold up,
Agreed.
All right. Well, thanks to Kamaru Usman for joining us here on the Anik and Florian podcast. Today's main event challenge is presented by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.